Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Wally Weasel. And here we are with some more Rogue Trader. There we go. Okay. For a bit there, I wasn't certain if my volume was, or my mic was working or not. Let's just get everything situated here. Do. Getting to know all about you. Do. Bye. Sorry. Okay, I'm almost ready. Let's see here. Get this up and open. Copied. Good to go. And good to go, yeah. So, yeah, this will be a bit of a chill stream. Just getting to know all my people aboard the bridge of the ship, and maybe take a little bath at the end. Let's see who wants to take a bath with my rogue trader. So yeah, don't expect this to be a super long stream, because I think as far as we'll get in the main story is we'll go to Janris, but we won't land on Janris, if you know what I mean. Come on, Bonesy. Let's get to know everybody. Right, tweet that out, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, let's start at this point of the ship. Okay, you guys give me a nice salute. You are just President Arm. You are just President Arm. Pascal. I don't think Pascal. Actually, we're gonna save on our companions for now, and instead just talk to our senior officers. There's a bridge officer. Okay. Janris. Danrok. Alright, we can talk to him. Oh, it's this dude. He's got a Bonesy too. Very nice. We got Bonesy twins. Okay, the high factotum, Janris Danrok, greets you with a cool smile and the merest hint of a bow. Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be of assistance? As you do on my ship. Okay, already I need a drink. Just to wet my whistle. As the high factotum, my duties encompass anything that might enrich you and your protectorate. I see to it that suppliers deliver all shipments on time, that our partners do not weasel out of their promises, and that all servants remember that the Emperor's grace can only be earned through toil and good of the von Schweetz dynasty. I also make arrangements to ensure that our hold receives less than thorough inspections by port custom officers, and I find buyers for whatever you wish to sell. So see, like my on-bridge buyer, seller, merchant. I think he's also someone who you can get hirelings from, but I'm pretty content with my my crew. And of course, I ensure that the protectorate worlds prepare their tithe in timely fashion. Will none ever say in my lifetime that the dynasty had disgraced itself with the late payment of the sacred tribute. You made a confession later. Okay, that's for the quest. Should I actually? You know what? Screw it. Leadership, you are truly masterful at springing unexpected questions of a man. However, I must admit I don't quite understand this one. They're destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living. Orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essentials, have they not? What was this thing? Nervously in the rings of his fingers until he musters the courage to reply. I'll not pry into how your leadership found out about my confession. I suppose it raised some questions to you. Are you? I mean, if there's anyone who's going to be like, I'm going to misappropriate funds, yeah, this is the sort of face that they would have. I'm just saying. Resources to provide for the orphans. Finding his out of the order, concentrating your duties. You have a good heart. It seems I am surprised. You should just ask. Are you scheming? Please, no scheming. Please, no scheming. Everything is duty accounted for. We have higher priority expenditure items, which is why the orphans only get the bare necessities. Janris sighs heavily. They are clothed and they aren't starving, but for some reason I find scant comfort in rational arguments, personal items, gifts on special occasions, on Nutribars, for the growing bodies that would certainly make the little orphans happier. Allocate extra resources to provide for the orphans. But where would those resources be coming from if we don't have them ourselves? And then how do we know that he's not just going to pilfer from them as well? Duties. Seems I am surprised. Or seems I am surprised. I mean, they came on this ship. Okay, well, they're orphans, so did they come on this ship as orphans, or are they on the ship because they're now orphans? That's the thing. Because if they came on here as orphans, then, you know, screw them, because they're orphans. But, yeah. Oh, okay. As am I, to tell the truth. Sensitivity is a vice and one responsible for ensuring the dynasty's prosperity. However, I cannot help it, which is why I unburdened my soul in confession. Thanks for resources. Lavish spending is out of the order. Concentrate on your duties. Lavish spending. You don't walk between us when we're talking without excusing yourself. Just a quick, you know, excuse me. Will do. The orphans. I mean, this is going to be part of my iconoclast style. Unfortunately, these are only two. Lavish spending is out of the order. Concentrate on your duties. I mean, what lavish spending? What's the lavish spending going to do? Is it lavish spending to, like, give the orphans anything? I marvel at your generosity. Will there be any specific instructions for leadership? So they get things that will bring them little moments of joy, sweet toys. They deserve it. There. See? 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 You can totally just come around me. You don't have to pass right in front of me. Extravagant, no spoiling the children. Only spend thrones on things that will keep them healthy, food, warm clothes, and training. Educate them so that they may grow up to be greater use of the ship. Educate them. I just said in deference. A wise decision, your ladyship. 2 serfs with 1 shot. That is to say, it is good to know that the children will both learn and be rewarded for their diligence. That's right. Oh, here he comes again. Son of a bitch. Hey, you're a good guy. I'm serving the Von Sweets dynasty. I come from Dargonis, your ladyship. I have been a subject of your dynasty since birth, and have always strived to be of use to the great rogue trader. Alas, it was not my fate to be the primary heir of my own family, due to my being 15th in the line to this title. So I decided not to stand in the way of those behind me in case they attempted to shorten the waiting list at my expense. Sorry. Nah. Go on. Janris lets out an almost kindly chuckle. While my brothers and sisters schemed against one another, I studied the exact sciences and mastered bookkeeping, the greatest art of the Adeptus Administratum. I must admit that the accumulation of wealth, something one can control, is far more exciting than hunting, carousing, and the other traditional amusements of my noble peers. It's like working with Theodora. Oh, now that is a tricky question, your ladyship. Do you ask it of everyone, knowing they risk losing their head should they let slip a careless remark about their predecessor? I should put it thus: working with Lady Theodora was never boring and always profitable. The Imperium has billions of subjects, but very few do what they love and what they are best suited to. Lady Theodora was one of the fortunate ones. She was a model rogue trader, and she surrounded herself with those who excelled at and loved their work. Bastard. Hers was a rare talent indeed. So know what you think of my fellow crew members. Keeping tabs on your subordinates? A wise move. Tell me who interests you, and I'll endeavor to be as honest as possible. Eyes light up. He is obviously eager to speak his mind. Let's see. We got Allbred, Conrad, Vox Master. That's it. No, nothing about specific squad mates. I mean, we got a navigator. She's kind of got an important job. Whatever. Okay, what do you want? Tell me about Allbred. Lady Theodora managed to do what even the Imperial Navy could not. Teach Master Allbred to carry out orders that he fundamentally disagrees with. I do not know what method she used, but the result is impressive. Having said that, there is something else you need to know, Lord Captain. Your seneschal is capable of being something far greater than a mere conduit of your will. He possessed the cunning and experience to run the Protectorate passably whenever Lady Theodora was away, and that really is saying something. Keep an eye on the old officer, I say, or alternatively, turn him into a faithful ally. To hear your opinion on Conrad. I hope I never see him set foot in this vessel again, not even as a servitor. Although he would be able to at least, he would be able to do at least some good that way. Someone has to clean the machines after all. The bloated face grows stern. He gave us all quite a fright on that ill-fated day, Lord Captain. And still, to speak candidly, I never enjoyed Master Volkvier's company, but I believed him to be a man who knew how to do his job. Regretfully, I was mistaken. It turned out Conrad lacked the most important quality of Master Whisperers, unwavering loyalty to the rogue trader, and his failing came to light in the most deplorable manner. We'll get him. Son of a bitch. Vox Master? Vox Master. Yes, the Voidborn. You know, in my family, we used such creatures as quarry whenever we went hunting. Mutants are the bane of humanity, an unseen tumor that threatens to end us all. But I digress. In the brief time Tolman has spent in the past as a Vox Master, I have not noticed any significant flaws in her character or anything that would make me question her professional qualities. Needless to say, she is very diligent, and as is any Voidborn seeking to earn their master's affection. I believe you can trust in her skills and loyalty. Let's see here. Know more about the people who buy our plunder. Oh, Jesus. Of course, Lord. Captain, who interests you exactly? Oops. We must often deal with the followers of Saint Dursus, the explorators, the Caspilica mission, or Emperor, forgive us, the Fellowship of the Void. Aren't we like the closest with the Fellowship? Isn't that what what's her face was a part of? Like the one girl where I kind of did like not really a tutorial, but tried to showcase what I learned. Maybe. The Drusians, oh, that's odd. They don't look Druish. Still hope to bring the Coronis expanse into the warm embrace of the faith. Just as their flock hopes to receive the aid of the Drusian missionaries. Okay, they couldn't have just said Drusian and not have been a reference to Spaceballs. You know, just saying. Just saying. Where are we? Each crate of food, shipment of clothes, or box of medicine marked with your seal is a sign of the rogue trader herself believes is the sect's future success. Reverend Hieronymus is the first among the Drusians and is most often seen in Footfall's grand atrium. Gloomy fellow, but sometimes believes to him to be a saint. Members of the Explorer Cognizant Fleet, which has been roaming the Cronus Expanse for a good while now. Our Messiah knows what they are hoping to find, but their acolytes regularly show up on inhabited worlds seeking bits of sacred knowledge, tracking down mechanical relics, and sniffing out Xeno artifacts. And truth be told, supposedly they want to save the ignorant rabble from corruption. A tech priest named Opticon 22 does business with us on the fleet's behalf. He can be found at the docks on Footfall. Caspilica mission. Masters of the cold trade, immoral criminals, and notorious crooks on the last man. Or to the last man. The mission is but the branch of a Mafia gang that has taken root in Calix sector. You can do business with them as long as you take the necessary precautions. They are led by Vladim Takora, who recently appointed himself Liege of Footfall. Of course, he is trusted ally of the rogue trader Winterscale, but he will not refuse you, another of the Emperor's anointed. If you wish to talk to Vladim, talk to him in the Liege's palace on Footfall. And the boy emits a laugh-like gurgle. A pompous name, is it not? In truth, they are a gang of pirates who are forever squabbling over loot and territory. However, some of their little flotillas need supplies, or can take awkward cargo off our hands without asking questions. Of course, there is always a risk that these scoundrels will change their mind and attempt to board us instead, but so far our macro cannons have managed to keep them in line. Say Risca Calvira speaks on the Fellowship's behalf. The Adeptus Domesticus was rumored to be her favorite haunt. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, good. That's why else do these people in the first place? To profit from them, of course. Most of the things you will find during expeditions are complete junk, one such as yourself. The less fortunate and affluent servants of the Emperor think them treasures, especially when they are bestowed by the great rogue trader herself. Drusian fanatics and pirate cutthroats, Caspilica dealers and explorators, none will refuse our help in these dark and trying times, and there may come a time when we shall be the ones requiring aid. It would be beneficial to have allies willing to provide it. To order the shipping and transporting of some goods. So let's see what this is all about. Yeah, we are super high with the with these guys. Okay, so it is just basically like he's like we're a shop. Ooh, what's this? It's a big sword. Isn't J like a what's it? Not a tank. Body glove. I don't know if it's like an actual name, but it still just makes me giggle. Reputation. Give them fuel. Some miscellaneous and armor kits and ranged weapons. And weapons. Some more favor. Well, 300 favor points away. Strength 15 weapon skill and minus 20 willpower. No, I don't like drugs of that nature. What is no artifacts? Oh, you can't just scroll to the bottom like that. 1800. Okay, that's going to get us to level 7. And almost already to level 8. Okay, so it gives us a Staff of Endless Flame. Did you hear Mary had a little lamb? Said Staff of Endless Flame. Okay, I can probably give that to our cute little navigator. Did I say cute? Explorers. Just buy everything that you can. Yeah, I really got to go through everybody's inventory and give them items as well. See, he's coming. Ah. Anyway, we'll just take everything he's willing to give us because we didn't work for help him. We kept the people in line that were trying to get at him. So, yeah, he does owe us stuff. Oh, we're doing this right. Maybe? No, because we haven't met them yet. Mission, yeah, okay. I wonder how high you can get the levels. Oh. We're not done yet. We're not done. But okay, so I know I can sell from him. Or through him. There's the painting on the late theater in the chambers. I can do that? I mean, that would just put this up there. You know what? No. We're going to leave Theodora up there for the time being. I know I've always said, like, let's get rid of Theodora, but I want her to see that I'm doing better than her. She can watch from her grave, the bitch. I need a training. I'll show you to our sparring chambers at once. Ooh. Cost of future progress resets will be increased. Oh. Wait. Oh, this is just like shoot. Oh, it's a good thing I just did it to her. Okay. So it's just like respecking. Okay, so that was Janris. Very nice. Bridge officer. Who we got next? Bridge technomat. Is that the son of a bitch who keeps getting in my way? Jocasta Sauerback. Sauerback. Hey, come on. Do. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with my chapters, and then I inadvertently put one chapter in the wrong place. Alright. Alright. Back a very picture of discipline. Her uniform is exquisitely pressed, and her armor is polished, and her posture is imposing and rigid. The only flaw in her immaculate appearance is the heavy enforcer small, which is worn and battered from her frequent use. Let's see with the practice salute. Greetings, our captain. Yeah, it does look a bit worn. As you can ignore your voice conspiratorially, the top-eared confession. Okay, how did you come to serve on my flagship? I come from the noble Sauerback family of the capital of the Dragonus. I dare say that our house is renowned for its loyalty and strict adherence to the law. The members of my family have been your faithful enforcers for centuries. I am honored to be the 6th Master-at-Arms named Sauerback to serve this ship. Jocasta speaks the words of an unmistakable pride. Okay, so the lop-eared Klepas, the confession. Oh, please repeat your order, Captain. The Klepas, Jocasta, I know everything. Dirty secret hiding behind these strange words. Tell me these. There's a test and you passed. Please, I am ready to answer any question as soon as I understand what you mean. Okay, Jesus. Where's the sequence of weakness? Please recite the charge that I can make a formal statement. Whatever. This stress interrogation is a good tool for exposing ideological weak elements. She lowers her voice slightly. Is usually conducted under duress. Thank you for choosing to omit that part for me. Why are you here instead of basking in luxury? Oh, okay, the questions just disappeared. I was like, wait, are we getting new questions? But then, if that's the case, why is this one already read? Because of my cousin, Karis, a furious crease appears between her brows. I cannot stand him, but the feeling is mutual. We can hardly be in the same room together, so I jumped at the opportunity to become your enforcer. I should thank my obnoxious cousin for nudging me toward the best decisions of my life. I serve you with all of my heart, and wish for no other fate than this one. You are wearing Imperial Navy armor. How did you come by it? Okay, so the questions just sort of disappear as I ask them. Gotcha. I inherited it from the previous Master-at-Arms. Like the esteemed Seneschal, he left the Navy to serve Lady Theodora. He brought quite a few officers with him and established a tradition upon the death or resignation of an enforcer. His or her armor would be passed on to a fellow officer who had distinguished themselves in the course of their duties. I was awarded armor in this way in my time, and upon the death of the predecessor, I inherited his personal armor. What's your opinion of me? Yeah, while I stand here, your boss, and demanding you answer. And be nice. Not dare to form opinions about your ladyship. That would be unforgivably brazen of me. My duty is to serve, not to evaluate. What do you think of the other officers? I do not trust them, but I do not trust anyone, mistress. Sorry. Mistress Tolman has too much power, and will surely be tempted to start deciding for herself what information to share with the crew on your behalf, and what to withhold. Ravor is closely intertwined with the ship's systems, which open up plenty of opportunity for sabotage. He must be watched. As for Danrok, forgive me, but a man of his size and habits cannot help but steal. Yeah, I already called that. Can you tell me about... What is... We always have the question about Albred. The Seneschal is a model of competence and fidelity, and all officers and forces look up to him with gratitude. Yeah, whatever. He's also boring and questioning of my motives. That's why he got kicked out of the team. A grimace of fierce devotion takes hold of Sauerback's face before she abruptly grips her teeth and continues. It is all the more distressing to see that the years have not been kind to the deeply respected Master Wernson. Wernson? Yeah. Soon there will be no rejuvenate treatment that can save him from the mistakes inherent in such advanced age, but we are ever watchful and will be there to steady the trembling hand of the honored veteran, if need be. And dispatching such attentive guards to my bath chamber, taking a bath with them was entertaining. Oh yeah, I did. His gaze becomes very still. What? Excuse me, Lord Captain. What did you just say? The post and jumped straight into my tub. It was a joke. I invited them to come and have a swim with me. They are fine people and good conversationalists. Yeah. I am pleased to have been of service. She hisses, gripping the handle for Maul, which does not bode well for those two fine people and a good conversationalist. Hey! If I said that it was fine, don't act without my permission, bitch! I'm going about your service. Didn't answer any questions. What is a Master at Arms duties? Or are, yeah. I am responsible for upholding safety and order aboard the ship. Guard duties, patrols, finding the punishing troublemakers. In addition, my enforcers must ensure the crew follow all directives and carry out their tasks properly. That's to say, my family, a servant who shows disobedience toward today prepares a riot tomorrow. Yeah, you were totally taking care of the people down below. Good job, you know. Pat you on the head. Good puppy. There are thousands of people aboard this vessel. How do you maintain order? She doesn't. 2 words, Lord Captain: suppression and fear. The base nature of the rabble cries for an iron grip, lest they give to their into their animal urges. We have many well tested measures to prevent it. Random night searches, preventative interrogations, corporal punishment, and executions. Of course, the laws of the ship equally apply to the officers. We eradicate the canker of insubordination whenever we find it, without mercy. Repeat the mistakes of the previous Master at Arms? Yeah. Be sure of that. He was a fine officer, but suffered from the fatal flaw of trusting his associates. I myself lack that weakness, and trust no one except you, Lord Captain. My feet are for walking, not for nuzzling. So the dynasty. Okay, all bred. Bridge officer. Vox Master Vigdis. Oh, okay. Jocasta was pretty brief. One sec, let me just get the... There we go. Whoops. 333. No. When you approach, Vigdis pulls away from the fine tuning. Another Vox and bows her head. Our captain of the ship informed me of our imminent meeting. Well, yeah, because this is all about meeting people. And you're next. Look at you. You got a bald head and you have little wires. It's like the Borg Queen, except, you know, better. Lower your voice. The top lop-eared Kleppa's confession. I assume you heard my confessional message. Replies with a hint of awkwardness. Do you wish to talk about it? Oh, we just didn't know who gave that prayer. I want a pair of Kleppas aboard the ship. Complexly initiate. Find a way to delete it, and we shall forget about a pair of Kleppas. We can get a pair of Kleppas? I'm going to quote my mother's response. That is impossible. They see the species went extinct several centuries ago. The place grows ever so slightly warmer. I'm very sorry, Lord Captain. There aren't any Kleppas to be had. But I want a Kleppa now! Stomp my foot. Where's that option? The important question is why? I was fault checking the Vox devices in the ship's reliquary. Message recording works, but deletion does not. You have helped me establish that. Thank you. Why lop-eared Kleppas specifically? At the time, I had nothing to repent of, so I dictated an excerpt from an old letter to my mother. As you heard, it contained arguments in favor of keeping lop-eared Kleppas on the ship. I can still recite it from memory. Flex the initiate, find a way to delete it, and we shall forget about it. Will do, Lord Captain. Would you like to discuss other matters? I don't know who you are. Vox Master Vigdis, Siri, Atta of the Ptolemon Dynasty. I'm going to call you friend. The current Vox Master serving aboard your vessel. In accordance with the Seneschal's orders, I assumed this duty immediately upon the demise of the esteemed Vox Master Septimus, who was my grandfather. Well, what about your father? Or mother? Master's duties. I am the ears and voice of the Void Ship. I supervise several dozen officers, 3 times that number. Support personnel. We receive, send, encrypt, and decode all incoming and outgoing messages through the ship's internal and external channels. And we also ensure clean communications with the optimal efficiency of the crew's Vox casters. Go on. If you ever want to know what worries and concerns your crew are harboring, what your subjects are whispering about in local networks after the watches, and what their leaders are clamoring about over shortwave Vox transmissions, just come and see me. I will satisfy your curiosity. Probably not to that degree, but, you know, like, in game. The Spirit of Vox brought you anything interesting? Be interested to know that a group of officers were discussing a grim rumor over lunch. Word has it the apparition of Lord Captain Theodora has been sighted on board lately. Yes, you heard right. They say she is haunting the decks, dragging wayward crew members off into oblivion. Disquiet has spread throughout the ship, as the anomaly has been reported in different sections, sometimes even kilometers apart. Good. I want her to know how good I'm doing. And when I see her, I'll say, see, bitch, I did this all on my own. Enjoy hell. Leans closer to you. Master Heinrix von Calix expressed interest in our communication stations and Voxnets a short while ago. The interrogator appears to be very well versed in the matter of sacred technology, and it worries me. A man of his knowledge and line of work capable of discreetly planting his own devices in our systems. Be vigilant, Lord Captain, but you should try to be more careful as well. Yeah, I gotta settle some things with him. He thinks we're romantically involved. We're not. Are you Voidborn? Are you not? My appearance comes from my generation after generation of people who spent their entire lives in the depths of the Void Ship. Neither we nor our ancestors have ever left our home, but the same can be said about many denizens of the Lumber or Imperium's million worlds. We are used to the silence and of the cosmos and the voices of the ship. There are thousands of us, but we dwell far from the Lord Captain's upper decks and remain unseen. We are the Voidborn. Where does the word Voidborn come from? Because we are the children born of the void between the stars. To be at the womb of a traveling vessel or an orbital satellite, or a forgotten asteroid station. Low gravity voyages through the warp and the countless dangers of space travel. Everything others hate and dread is second nature to us. The lives of the Voidborn and my crew. To us, the groans, creaks, and murmurs of the ship sound the way babbling brooks and singing birds do to other world dwellers. Why am I having trouble all of a sudden? We hear the ship breathe, know what it is feeling and thinking. We are part of the ship just like it is part of us. We perform numerous functions, and there are many officers among our number. Some maintain order and prevent mutiny, others serve as shepherds and support the crew, and some devote themselves to mending the body and spirit of the vessel. Most of the Voidborn are members of a large void ship dynasties that bear responsibility for a certain aspect of the ship's life. For 300 years, the main branch of the Ptolemon dynasty has produced the ship's Vox Masters, and most of our subordinates come from the cadet houses of the dynasty. It's wedding time. How do you find life on the ship? Day by day. How do you find life on the ship? With my eyes. There we go. That's a better answer. Life has been quite generous to me, Lord Captain. I am the Vox Master, and only the best of the dynasty can become one. By virtue of my skills and position, no one has ever denied me anything. Our family claims a spacious section for its domain. What the hell is that? Great, another word I have to look up. Let's see here. Domain or diamond. Diamond? Really? Okay. Generally refers to a private controlled territory or landed estate. Can you just say that? Why does it have to be like some word that no one even knows? They're like just messing around with Scrabble. I also enjoy long walks through the narrow and dimly lit corridors of the ship, listening to the sounds of our activity, falling asleep and waking up to the chanting of hymns, admiring the stars beyond, of course. How do others on the ship treat you? We look, speak, and move differently from the inhabitants of the planetary worlds. Our way of life, traditions, and quirks frighten these people that's just like the darkness of the cosmos. Many believe us to be bringers of ill fortune, and alas, it is the Voidborn who get the blame for terrible warp phenomena during longer voyages. Well, we'll probably fix that, because knowing how these games work, we'll get a couple of Xenos, and then it's like, hey, you suck. Our ship was attacked by space whales. Yeah. Vigdis hesitates before continuing. Several years ago, an unfortunate warp jump caused all of the food on board to spoil. 15 days later, a hungry and furious crew nearly massacred everyone on the lower decks, blaming us for the misfortune and hoping to restart the larders with our flesh. I would have been killed during the mutiny had Idira not shown up in the right place at the right time. She came to my rescue, and the scoundrel's fear of her was even greater than the fear of the Voidborn. Looks like you were close friends with Idira. Waves of tiny wrinkles appear at the corners of Vigdis' eyes, the only hint that the Vox Master is smiling. The Voidborn seldom make friends, especially among the captain's entourage. But you see, many consider Idira to be different. I am different too. We have spent plenty of time in each other's company, discussing regicide over a glass of amasec. Regicide. Oh! Human tabletop game played across Imperium of Man, similar to the ancient Terran game of chess. Okay, because, isn't regicide also, you know, like, wait, am I thinking about the same thing? Is regicide like killing a king? Google, help me out here. Yeah, killing of a monarch. Everybody keeps calling me Lord Captain. Should I put Vigdis and Idira under arrest? I kind of want to. Except Idira changed after one incident. We started to drift apart. The death of Lord Captain Theodora made her withdraw even more. I do not know if Idira considers me her friend now, but we used to be very, very close. It is good I can still look after her in my own way. Well, she's not really partying around with me right now, so have at it. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. So, yeah, you know, you can grill crows. Also, that didn't really happen all that long ago. I don't think. I guess time in this thing is super weird. Because we just had a phenomenon, and I guess they're saying we time jumped. Maybe? Did we? I don't know. The perception test succeeded. Interpreting the Vox Master's emotions based on a half smile, or a half face, and Vox modulated voice is no easy task, but you managed to catch the undercurrent in Vigdis' words. Vox Master is not merely saddened by her rift with Idira. She is devastated by it. Are the two of them lovers? Have you ever left the ship? I did once, and it was dreadful. I felt like the massive blue dome overhead could shatter at any moment and fall, and my bones could be crushed by the gravity. Vigdis twitches her shoulders, trying to ward off the flood of memories. The ship is my home, Lord Captain, and I would not trade it even for the bounty of 100 worlds. What happens if the ship gets blown up then? Then you're pretty much screwed. Okay, do I go left or right? Oh, we're closer to the left. Take slow walks, just so we don't miss anybody. Bridge officer. I think this is just to a dead end. Yep. Come on, Bonesy. Bridge officer. Bridge officer. Can't see him. We'll talk to you soon. Just make sure we're not. Bridge officer. Bridge officer. Einrich Monteg. What a name. What a name. Also, how do you download to mobile? You can download to mobile. It's still going live. Silly YouTube. Okay, let me just get this guy up. Everyone gets a chapter. It is okay. The Infernus Master nonchalantly lights an Eho? Is that Eho? Yeah, okay. Eho stick from a... No, low, because that would be a lowercase L. From a thermal cutter, and spreads his arms in a welcoming gesture. Einrich Monteg, at your service. He smiles and cinders and low. You just make sure a stimulant that consists of rolled paper stuffed with a plant-derived substance. Okay, so basically like a cigarette. Kind of figured. His face is sooty and has been laden with a number of heavy tools. You would have taken him for a laborer if it weren't for the greasy and ragged officer's uniform. Stop leaning. Also, wait, does he? Hold on. Just waiting for the... He does have a little low in his portrait. Okay, right on, right on. Go on. He narrows his eyes, studying your face, then says with visible relief, It only tails after all. Right? It's only tails after all. You just don't like the bringer of woes to me. Look like... Okay, I'm going to have the most trouble with him, it seems. Because I'm already having trouble. And I don't know why. It's not like he's talking any differently. What was that about a bringer of woes? Do you even need to say it? The moment you came aboard, Lady Theodora perished. So did her arch-militant, as well as half the senior officers and a quarter of the Infernus Guild, along with the previous Infernus Master. What's worse, rations don't taste good anymore. Fire burns hotter, and the sinister look in your eyes. You look like you're about to put a curse on someone. Grins. It's what the avoidsmen say, so it must be true. Most of those are baseless lies. If I were to put a curse on you this very instant, it seems that several of the ship's bays are due to the recarceration. No, is it this very much? Okay, if I can't even say it myself, how the hell is she supposed to be saying it? Ludicrous nonsense. No, let's just play along and see if he's a bit playful himself. Be interesting, I guess. What if I were to put a curse on you this very instant? That would be a sight. I've never seen a real curse before. My niece would be thrilled to hear all about it. Okay, good. He's not like, superstitious or whatever. He's playing playful in that way. Remind me who you are. I am just a humble laborer in charge of putting out fires and dealing with emergencies, but everyone calls me the Infernus Masters. I guess that's because I answered for them with my life. Emergencies, the French Guild. Okay. That's right. Picture flames roaring. All the ship's systems have failed, including the artificial gravity. You can't make out anything because of the red-hot debris, and you know an explosion is coming. It's a nightmare. But it's your job to evacuate the panicked crew and eliminate the cause of the fire and get the compartment back in working order. Go on. Of course, the job description doesn't allow me to risk my life now. Smiled sadly. It's all but a management these days, sending the boys and girls into the fire. It's all nonsense. And if things keep getting tough, or the going gets tough, I won't leave them alone, or I won't leave them there alone. What kind of emergencies does the Infernus Guild deal with? There are many. Accidents due to external factors, for example, hits from enemy guns or collisions with hollow objects, like the wreckages of other ships. There are plenty of internal causes as well, from system malfunctions and short circuits to problematic cargo. A couple of years ago, something blew up in the hold, nearly burned it to a crisp, and then there's sabotage. The Valkyrie snake did a lot of damage to the ship. Labor, then why are you lounging on the bridge? Well, he just said. Simple answer is because nothing is on fire. As head of the Infernus Guild, I'm mired in the officer's routine of reports and discussions. There are several compartments upgrades and refurbishments on the agenda right now, and I have to make sure that fire safety protocols are followed everywhere. Rest assured, I'll scurry back to the technical bays to do manual labor as soon as all the paperwork is done. Any other questions? Have you made a confession lately? Are we still on about that? Sounds like the start of an interesting conversation. No, I have not. For private confessions, fire, some just into Paris in the warp while others must go on living. No puff of burning smoke, I don't know, Lord Captain, I simply don't know. Too many good men have been devoured by the damned warp and will never be sated. Hard to think about. For private conversation, or confessions. Right, is it confessions, or... Yeah. They're talking about important things in heart-to-heart conversations. Flashes you a genuine smile like the one we're having right now. You're a little too relaxed in front of your Lord Captain? Perhaps. Because I lived under the constant threat of agonizing death by fire, I have a repressed, what's the word? Self-preservation instinct. Or maybe I just relish every minute I get to breathe the smoke instead of cinders. I humbly apologize for my manners, Lord Captain. You can use the smoke without a shred of embarrassment. Do not forget that I am your mistress. Is that understood? This is fine. I enjoy having infernal conversations. Take the list of American puff. Impressing Einrich. No, we're not a smoker. It's fine. I enjoy having conversations, yeah. I enjoy our conversations. I will work on a poem, and I will work on it slowly over the years. I'm glad to feel that way. Life is too short to waste it on ceremonies. It's better to present yourself as you are immediately. As you come to the service of the Von Sweets dynasty. Not in the usual way. My ancestors wronged yours and were appointed in Inferni as a result. Hard labor, deadly risks, plenty of opportunities to atone. Those criminals have been dead for generations, but we are still serving their time. Maybe we'll find a redemption one day. Maybe. If I allow you. And then I'll hold your oaths complete. Tell me more about the Infernus Guild. Interests you the most. Our duty, our state-of-the-art equipment, or our vibrant traditions? How is the guild organized? The Infernus Services is split into different brigades according to duties. The heart of the guilds are, of course, our liquidators. Tough guys with nerves of steel who put out fires and pull people from the flames. Others are repairmen, dealing with problems like jammed doors, fuel leaks, or broken vents. And then there's the walking inspectors, who check the docks and to make sure that nothing is blocking any passages or access to communication lines. State-of-the-art equipment, that sounds interesting. Yeah, we got this stick and a rope, and you tie them together, and it's a stick with a rope. It's cool. The Furnace Master smiles guiltily. That was a bit of a stretch. I'm sorry. There is no state-of-the-art equipment. The risks of ruining it in a fire are too great. We get by using human resources and the most common items available. Respirators, fire extinguishers, and flame-retardant uniforms. Let's face it, the lives of Inferni are not worth much. It's more important that we save the machines and minimize damage to the ship. Traditions. We have plenty of those, like the reminders. Frank rolls up his sleeves, revealing a tattoo inscribed over an old burn mark. When you survive a particularly hopeless accident, you get a tattoo on your scar. You can always tell an experienced infernus by their ink. It's like a badge of honor of sorts. What happens if you don't get a scar? So you got your reminder. Points to a tattoo on his right forearm. This one is from the time plasma leaked from the outer aft circuit. Imagine yourself clinging to the hole outside. Thermal cutter in one hand and a magnetic clamp in another. In the other? As air flames burst from the breach, the kind that can incinerate you in a second. All that separates you from the death is a flimsy rope and a void suit more ancient than the Holy Terra. And yet the price I paid was nothing compared to my comrades. Slowly moves his augmented fingers to his right hand. As for this one he looks at his left hand full of bitterness. I'll get this one in the ammo depot where my wife Elsinora died. There was a fire, and the flames were getting close to the ammunition. I don't mean shotgun rounds. These were macro cannon shells. Signs of the dose. Okay, so big ones. We put out the fires as best we could, but we were losing. Suddenly, Elsie took my hand, kissed me, and then ran straight into the blaze and activated the emergency blast door. Stayed outside while she went to the compartment. Gives a tender smile, gazing at the smoke. It was quite the story. Sorry for your loss. Nods gracefully and takes another puff. All I need, there's enough for now, and dialogue. Oh, whoops. That was a bit longer than I thought it was. Okay, pausing on the thingamabob, the replay. Never let your fire out, good Lord Captain. I mean, no. He hurriedly waves his hands. That's just a stupid little guild joke. Seriously, if you see an infernus next to a naked flame, run. Can do. Okay, so that's everyone there. Yeah, valet. Okay, I'm assuming that's valet is in. Yeah, okay. Bridge officer, master helmsman, Argenta, bridge officer. Oops, blockage. Bridge officer. Let's just check down here just to make sure. Bridge officer. I'm assuming this is going to be another dead end. Yes. Even though we could totally squeeze by that little tunnel. Okay, Master Helmsman Ravor. I think this is the dude with the accent. He's bridge officer, okay. Is it just me, or are these conversations getting shorter and shorter? No, because Jocasta was only 8 minutes. Nobody else gets their titles in their thing, so. You're just Ravor. And people don't know who that is? Okay, the tall man before you appears to be woven from tendons and muscle. Blue veins snake under his white, almost dove-colored skin, and his scalp and chin are covered in cropped white hair. His neck and shoulders are wrapped in wires that hint at his presence of neural connectors under his uniform. The officer's face seems to be twisted in a personal grimace of annoyance and anger, but he greets you with a respectful nod. Lord Captain, Master Helmsman Ravor, at your service. Alright, looks very dutiful. We've got a thing on the side of his head. Kind of questionable. Are we certain that we're talking to him, or the machine in his brain? Is he a corpse? Just being kept alive? Remind me who you are. I am Master Helmsman, Lord Captain. I stand at the wheel of this here tub. I mean your vessel, and bark commands that the idiots who tend to its related systems. In layman's terms, I'm the one who stops us from running into an asteroid or a disruptive gravitational wave when we're traveling through the void. Do you control the ship in real space? So are we basically him when we're flying around? Because that would make sense, right? Because he's the one controlling the ship. I wish that was my only job. I have to steer her through the warp, too, but most of the credit for that goes to the navigator. The warp's a nightmare, always tossing up something new. All my years at the helm, they count for nothing in there. My part's small enough. I just monitor our systems, follow the charted route, and I don't kick up a fuss when new orders come in from the navigator's sanctum. You mean like over there? Like 30 feet away? Real space. Now that's where I keep my eyes peeled. Gravitational anomalies, void current, hard radiation. That kind of that shows up everywhere. Yeah, almost got me. All right. Thank the Emperor, the augurs on this vessel are holding up, and so far we've been able to spot something bad coming our way. These idiots you are in charge of? I'm assuming the bridge officers. There are too many to list them all. Tech priests from the engineerium, voidsmen from the augur decks, the work-shy fools. On the bridge, I have every last one of them flogged. They all need a wake-up call. They need to be whipped into shape, or else the ship will be going nowhere. Or worse, it'll be somewhere I don't want it to. We can't tell them to start, and we'll help. Aw. Stop dealing with the navigator as part of your duties. Damn it, Lord Captain. To tell the truth, I've been asking myself where the Lord Captain fished this Orcelio girl out of. Now it's not like I've met many navigators, but this one. I don't feel safe with that little princess pulling the void ship through the warp. Done a decent job so far, though, so I guess she's managing. But for now... Right, you are, Lord Captain. You made a confession lately. Are we still on that thing, or are we just randomly asking people? Which my connectors doesn't work. Are some destined to perish in the warp? Living. Some weren't trying hard enough or listening to their higher-ups. That's all. Or has someone you know died on you, and I'm supposed to offer my sympathies? Grinson looks away. Odd choice of person to come to with something like this, Lord Captain. This is definitely not you. I'll be blasted if I understand a thing, but I'm here to serve. Something else you want to discuss? You're a Voidborn, are you not? That I am. Born into a helmsman class in the bowels of a Chartist vessel. Studied the family trade until I was 15. Then my entire clan was butchered in a mutiny by lower hold scum. They sparred the young'uns, of course, they did. Kids with implanted connectors make great navigational servitors, but I was having none of it. They weren't going to make me a servitor out of me, so I escaped to the crawlways, and then I spent months picking them off, one after the other. It stops abruptly. You got me talking up a storm. Anyway, yes, I'm a Voidborn. Continue. Never stay silent for a few seconds. Not much to tell. I gutted everyone I could get to. And then I fled upward to the middle decks. That's where the augur operators took me under their wing. They have apprentice salesmen of their own up there, you see. Nobody asked me any questions, so I stayed. I grew up, trained, got smarter, then ended up a junior helmsman. A dozen years later, Danrok spotted me and lured me away, the cheeky blighter. You're not a gregarious sort. Nice twitches, which makes him grimace in the face of the ugly. Make the grimace on his face even uglier. Which makes his face okay. Have I done something to displease Lord Captain? Or are you giving Road Trader cheek? Answer me. I'm really sharing an observation. On the contrary, you are the first person on the bridge who's not tripping over themselves to lick my boots. Yeah, pretty much. Well, not the first. More like the second. Wilson perpetually twisted mouth twitches as if he's trying to smile. Looks sinister rather than friendly. Yeah, well, I'm pleasantly surprised myself that you aren't having me flogged for insubordination. But wonders never cease. He points out the cables around himself, connecting wires. Once they go into the control panel, I become one with the ship. Except the bloody cogs messed up the wires, stimulus injectors, and connectors. When they implanted them, they twisted the wires the wrong way or burned something in my noggin. Anyway, I can't sleep. It just doesn't happen anymore. been 30 years of non-stop stimulant and a splitting headache. So you'll forgive me if I'm not all smiles, Lord Captain. With the Voidborn... rinses and rubs his temple. Lord Captain, I mean no disrespect, but you do better than to find someone with a knack of conversation like Tolliman, the new Vox Master. I ain't the talking type. I just get the ship where she needs to go. Best let the folks stick to what they do best. And with the other officers. Good-for-nothing wasters, that's what they are. Each and every one of them. Take Janris Danrok, the high-born weasel. He fawns over the officers, but some of the deals he makes would get him burned alive. He drags other people into his schemes so they can take the fall for him. One of my junior helmsmen was ferrying goods from Footfall for him, got caught by his seneschal, and ended up in the Void's hatch. Danrok couldn't care less. The Vox Master, another Tolliman like the last one, Void rest him, is no better. She cut off half the Vox channels the day she took her post. So the Vox systems were damaged, and the engineer had no contact with other modules. But how am I supposed to steer the ship? Connect the cogs report with the power of my mind? First Officer Wessarian, I can't stand him. Like every Navy officer I ever met. He doesn't know a thing about controlling a vessel in the void. But he puffs himself up all the same and throws his weight around. Me and him had to have words a few times before he left me alone. Like the Emperor, Lady Theodora trusted me more than the Seneschal when it came to helming this void ship. Then there's the woman. What's her name? T.S. Lady Theodora brought her along whenever she wanted, or wherever she went, and look what happened to her. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out it was that witch that delivered her to the early grave, just like countless souls before her. I don't see why anyone would want that walking calamity on their ship. But some disagree. They say she's friendly with the young Tolliman, or at least she used to be. Do you like anyone? Her looks perplexed. What kind of question is that? I like you, Lady Theodora, before you. Where would I be if I was making cracks with the rogue trader? Ha! I don't want to die just yet. Take my leave. Leave acknowledges you with a nod and turns away. Okay, we come up here. Officer Heinrix. Okay, you're not. Not someone just yet. Sent down here. Bridge, Technomats. Wasn't there one of. Yeah. One of Pascal's buddies. We did talk to him before. So let's see if he has anything new. Nothing, okay. Okay, I think this is just to Cabela. And Cabela stabbing herself. Good job. Good job. Okay, so that's pretty much our crew, it would seem. Unless there's someone else around here. I know Albrecht hangs out around. There he is. Is it all just bridge officers? It's just all bridge officers. Okay, so the only one that seems to be of gameplay use is on by over here, Janris. Because we can actually sell things through him. And, yeah, hire, well, people. But I kind of like my crew. So we won't be doing that just yet. Anyways, let's now talk to our crew. And just catch up with them all, 9, 20... See if anyone has anything to say. Probably not. Many of them.
The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all.
Alanya.
May your labors be effective and fruitful.
And dialogue. Okay, we'll talk to Jay and Heinrix last, because at least I know that they'll have stuff to say, because we haven't talked to them yet. We're merely just catching up with everybody now. Ow!
Dolmen. May the Undying One shroud your footsteps from the faithless.
And maybe you stop spraying me with blood. Jesus. Dira, you got anything to say? Anything about like being kicked out of the group? Nothing?
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
Okay, guess I'll use all bread next.
Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
Oops. Okay. Let's talk to Argenta. But no, I don't care about you. Stop talking to people that I don't want you to.
Greetings.
Bitch! Didn't say bye. Guys, do you have anything?
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Okay, what is your special site reveal?
Chai is like a gem. The brighter people shine around her, the clearer her faces reflect a myriad of colorful gleams. They are all parts of Chai, but no single one of them is her. I cannot discern her true colors through the veil of her motley shawls. I peel off hue after hue, only to find a different color underneath every time.
Okay. This time we close the chapter in our cooperation. No.
I have enjoyed your company. Thank
Well,
you
yeah.
for the conversation.
It was a pretty brief conversation. For all the writing in the game, there's not really a lot of refreshed dialogue with squad mates. You get to know them, and then that's pretty much about it. Outside of their personal quests. Okay, Heinrix. That was fast, wasn't it?
You have my complete attention.
Okay, we gotta talk about that. Just saying. You want to discuss the nature of your mission? Let's discuss the cult of the Final Dawn. One thing in position to take care of Adira, rid me of her. No, we're not doing that.
Yes, but not here. I wouldn't want our conversation to be gossip fodder on the bridge and in the officers' mess.
Okay, where are we going? Okay. Seriously? You're gonna make... Oh my god, I hate you so much. Heinrich nods slightly. Thank you for finding an opportunity to talk. I trust now would be a good time to explain the reason for my return aboard your ship. A chance to assist the Inquisition. I do not object to you personally, but I find that continuous presence wouldn't be on my ship if I hadn't seen the matter. Welcome the chances. Yeah, whatever. It'll be nice. But Captain, your enthusiasm is commendable. And your smiles, but his eyes remain cold. To business, then. The cult of the Final Dawn, the madmen preach their heretical doctrine among the denizens of the Cronus Expanse and instigate crimes against the throne of humanity. One such crime took place in your protectorate. The Lord Inquisitor considered it necessary to have one of his acolytes accompany the rogue trader on the voyage into the corrupted region. I also need to meet with one of my observers in the capital world of your domain. It's called my protectorate, Heinrix. I used laying accusations with my dynasty. Mentioned in his letter that he was willing to show lenience toward my actions. He has spies and why would senior agents instigated cults? I agreed to replace my ownership. What else? Let's go for the one that gives me experience points. Well versed in how Inquisition is organized, Alanya. Lord Captain, to you. Yes, initially our arrival in the Cronus Expanse was dictated by the need to fight Xenos, but there is more. Much more! The cult is tangentially related to a main speculation. Perhaps I will be able to reveal the full truth someday, but right now, I ask you to display humility and patience. Screw off! Are you laying accusations against my dynasty? Chaos tread softly, Elenia. The main danger of secret cults and sects is that they are like seeds. They can remain on the ground for decades, safe from all scrutiny, till opportunity to sprout, grow, and bear monstrous fruit presents itself. The emergence of a cult on one of the rogue traders' planets does not mean the dynasty head herself is a chaos worshipper. Having said that, it would also be, or it should be noted, that Theodora von Schweetz was famous for her loose interpretation of the freedoms granted by the warrant. They kind of make it sound like worlds are super small, but it's sort of like, here. Like, just because there are certain beliefs in one part of the world, that's like, oh, the entire world must believe it. Like, not everyone believes the world is round. Funny stuff. Okay, Heinrix regards you with a probing look. A bloodline can be stained by the ancestral transgressions. If it is needed so, it is in your best interest to do whatever necessary to redeem yourself. And then, perhaps, you will get a chance to salvage your dynasty reputation. I'm just saying, why is flat earther a derogatory term? I say round earther should be derogatory. Just letting you know that, no, the earth isn't flat. It's like a dome. Visitor mentioned in his letter that he was willing to show lenience toward my actions that would otherwise be interpreted as radical. He nods. That is correct. I should show greater intolerance for the mistakes of a newly appointed rogue trader. To be frank, I am surprised the Lord Inquisitor is not the type to indulge the weakness of soul and mind, even as someone who only recently accepted the burden of a lofty title. Spies on the Von Schweetz worlds. I know you were called the final dawn. And you have spies? The person I mentioned is not a spy, but a secretary of the Administrative Department on Dargonis. The planet's governor and Theodora were fully aware of his status. His duty is to fulfill the secret oath of the Golden Throne and eliminate threats to the Imperium, which the Cronus Expanse has in abundance. His name is Achilles Scalander. As soon as we contact Dargonis, I will introduce you as the new head of the dynasty. I am sure you will appreciate the presence of such an advisor among your subjects. I suggest you heed the words at least occasionally. I want to know more about the cult. Chaos worshippers. Most often agents of the throne run into the lone renegade stirrings in the rabble. Insane prophets and hysteric visionaries preaching the end of the days. A passing comet, a mutant rebellion, an onslaught of monsters. Each time they come up with a new reason why people should prostrate themselves and quiver in fear. Much effort and the blood of those loyal to the Golden Throne were spent before they established the connection between those heretics. However, the cult of the Final Dawn is something greater than a gaggle of misguided seers and fortune tellers. They cleverly spread their agents all over the Cronus Expanse, dismantling heresy among honest people of the Imperial worlds. There's a certain strategy to their actions that changes whenever we get too close, and finally, they have enough military power to have had the two ships that we had sent after them later that discovered as wreckage. Growing difficulty in making warp jumps is detrimental to us, but is unlikely to inconvenience those who engage in vile sorcery. Day in, day out. Heinrich sighs. After the events of the Recce of Minoris, I suspected that the cult might have built its nest inside Winterscale's domain. The latest reports indicate it is your protectorate that is harboring heretics. Being in your entourage improves my chances of getting closer to their secrets. I agreed to give you a place aboard my ship. What else? The rogue trader should deliver me to the system that contains the industrial world of Kiava Gamma. I will then accompany you to the surface and determine what the cult is planning and how it intends to use the resources that have fallen into their clutches, which may very well include the blessed engines of the Adeptus Mechanicus and even the followers of the Omnissiah themselves. I'll be frank. You already are frank. The answer to this question is unlikely to please either of us. The machinations of chaos usually go beyond solely inflicting countless deaths and destruction. Having their plans come to fruition would lead to far more terrible consequences. One of the systems in the Chronos Expanse is already lost. May the Emperor protect us from watching this tragedy play out again. This is fallen heresy. What then? This is fallen Kieva Gamma. We have a chaos. To his brothers. Let's assume Kieva Gamma has fallen to heresy. What then? Yeah. Minoris, you made a decision that sent billions of souls into the grasp of the arch enemy. Unreasonable, unforgettably high price for a small handful of people saved by your mercy. Consider a worthy exchange? I most certainly do not. Will I make every effort to make sure the exchange does not happen again? Of course I will. Sentimentality is a luxury I cannot afford. I believe you're lacking compassion. You did not stop me after all, though you certainly could have tried to. Sometimes the good of the Imperium demands we turn a blind eye to the fate of the individual servants. Stop me after all, you certainly could have, yeah. Tarkator's eyes narrow. I haven't said I would not like to be able to afford such luxury. In fact, deep down, I understand why you acted that way. I have yet to illuminate the understanding and acceptance within myself. But I will. Suspicion fall on Kieva Gamma. Disjointed pieces of data that finally merged into a single picture. Additionally, not long ago, a vessel from the world arrived on footfall. The reports from the crew were confused and alarming, making me fear a planet-wide rebellion. Did we just run into his book? We read it. Was that the guy with the dog? Or is that someone else? No doubt it will happen sooner or later, Elenia. Chaos Marines siding with the cult is very, very bad news. Most likely they kept away until recently. Or was it the lady in the mask? Maybe the lady in the mask. Pulling their puppet strings from a respectable distance. These traitors seldom show up alone. The best we can count on is having to deal with just a squad of Chaos Space Marines and the Chronos Expanse, and not an entire company. Space Marines! Yeah, that came out on... Was it PlayStation Plus or just like a monthly game? Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. Even if it's just like a showcase. Let anyone throw their weight around in my worlds. Here's the heretics. Always entertain me with a compelling conversation. No. Commendable aspiration for a person who holds the fates of billions of people and dozens of imperial worlds in her hands, which is why you need to be ever more vigilant when looking for seeds of corruption on your planets, lest they sprout someday and spell doom for whatever is tangled up in their roots. I must go about my business. No more relationship stuff. Screw that. Let me put it this way, Frank. You may think whatever you want of me, but my goal is not to hinder you. I am here to help you in your fight against foes you may not even be aware of. You have my word that I will provide every assistance in uprooting the heresy that has sprouted on the Von Sweet's world while their mistress was away, and that I will try to be more patient with the less grievous flaws and bearers of the warrant and are sometimes known to have. Sometimes it's just like, instinctual when I just say Von Sweets now. I don't even really think about it. Inclines his head. Thank you for your sparing your time, Lord Captain. And thank you for not reading your dialogue, you son of a bitch. Come on, Bonesy. We gotta finish talking to him.
You have my complete attention. The cult's ordinary members are humans who have been corrupted by the archenemy, traitors to the Imperium, and accomplices of chaos. Participation in the cult's rituals always entails brainwashing, literally and figuratively. The longer cult members spend among other cultists, the less critically they think, and the more closely they resemble obedient livestock, stripped of their fear and instinct for self-preservation. The worst of them go to their deaths without an inkling of doubt, ready to take hundreds and thousands of souls with them.
Go on.
As for those at the top of the cult's hierarchy, we have not yet managed to get a lead on all of the cult's leaders. I imagine that some of them are hiding in the depths of the Coronis Expanse. But those who are orchestrating the fanatics on nearby worlds are hiding very well indeed. Or receiving protection from above.
Let's just go... Okay, let's just go straight to the beginning of the conversation. Okay, remind me, what is your mission regarding the cult? What do you mean protection from above? Since you have investigated this cult for some time... Yeah. What is your mission?
I need to confirm the reports from my agents. According to them, one of the cult's leaders is in the Kiava Gamma segment, an industrial world within the dominion of the von Valancius dynasty. I hope you won't impede my investigation.
Okay, now whenever I'm seeing the word Valancius, I'm still thinking, von Schweetz. So it's kind of, surprising when they say it right. What do you mean, protection from above?
Governors, commanders, rogue traders. History is full of those who neglect their duty to the Golden Throne and seek allies in the wrong places.
I was thinking like there's just kind of like ships and stuff. Maybe dragons. You seem to have been investigating this cult for some time.
We discovered the first traces of it as soon as we arrived in the Coronis Expanse. Since then, the more we learn, the better we see just how far the roots of this blight extend. Destroying individual cells is pointless. We must cut this beast off at its head.
We shall do that in time.
As you wish.
Alenia. Take care of Adira. No. Politely inclines his head and in response. Alright, let's go talk to Jay, who is... I believe... there we go.
Allow me to thank you again for me with the cargo, Shireen. I am sure the Ashmags who squirreled away my goods won't give up so easily, and I'll hear more about their scheming yet. Let's strike a deal, Shireen. I will watch your back, if you do me a favor and watch mine. Well, enough jokes. Is there something you wanted?
So we're going to watch each other's... Wait, how are we watching each other's backs? Through a system of mirrors? Okay. I'm going to assume that those are pants. Because I don't think that she would be walking around naked with, like, covered only by, chains and stuff. But I wouldn't mind that. What was the business you wish to discuss?
Oh, Shireen, I did manage to spark your interest. Allow me to invite you to a more private place. My words are meant for your ears alone.
Is there going to be more reading from me? I think people are tired of that. It's going to be like the exact same animation? Yes, but just done from a different angle. And a bow. And again, despite the fact that they are voiced companions... Alright. Already off to a good start. The flickering light of dozens of candles plays across Jay's face, making her small smile appear even more mysterious. Is it Jay or Jai? I think it's Jay. Already announced there's in a Homer J. Simpson joke, so. Shireen, the Exalted One himself brought us together the day you crossed Valen's threshold. He led us to the cargo and gave his blessing for its return. Do you know what what people on my world say when such a thing happens? What's gained is to be shared with your neighbor. She points to containers in front of her. One contains a polished Aldari rifle, rare model, and the other holds an ornate sword. I am sharing what I have gained with you. Please accept these humbling gifts in honor of your wielding wildly successful, though suddenly struck, friendship. Wanderers portent and cry of agony. Ancient and highly advanced alien race that once dominated the galaxy. Yeah, suck it, bitches. Cry of agony, exotic sword. I don't use swords. Cabela uses swords, though. Ranged weapon. Woo! I use that. No, I can't. I need the proficiency. Why'd you give me a weapon that people can't use? Really wonderful gift. I accept it with gratitude. Yeah, more Xeno heresy. Jeez. Consider these gifts. My forces to equip with deadly weapons. Shrug. What can I say? Like, you gave me weapons I can't use. Jeez. I'm trying to cover this. Both of the true servant of the Emperor. Well, I mean, you know, we have them, so they don't. So, you know. You need to appreciate the Xeno's mastery of the craft. She beams at you, curling a lock of black hair around an augmented figure. She has an augmented figures? Hard to tell. Oops, why did I do that? After a brief pause, she awkwardly continues. So, the matter I wanted to discuss with you is related to my business. You know that I sell Xeno artifacts to interested Imperial subjects and Imperial trinkets to Xenos. Business is going well. My network runs even without my participation. But even when it comes to an expansion, well, this is where I hit on a wall. Rivals, envious of my success, Jay throws up her hands. Falco especially. I am certain of the theft of the cargo that he is doing. But I can never predict what that Ashmag will do next. And while the Imperium's authority may be fragmented in the Expanse, it would crack down on the people of my professional moment. Hey, the Expanse hasn't come out yet. Give it like half a year. And then we'll flirt with the blonde girl. Because no one has ever expressed interest in her. I think I follow. You wish to use me if you are slightly less useful to me. Myself, get to the point. Now, go on. Sorry, I would just like, you know, flip the thing up, but as I found out, that doesn't work. If the rogue trader put in a good word for me with the service of the Adeptus Administratium, I could become an official trade representative of the Imperium. Just imagine that a little scrap of paper will offer me and my agents protection against Ashmag's schemes. Kind of feels like I had something in my nose, but can't really do anything with it. And even the Inquisition will have to think twice before they mess with me. Because I will be a representative of law of my own. Right. And the best part of all of that is this will cost you precisely nothing, Serene. All you have to do is stop by the Administrative Palace and obtain a certificate from the Master of Seals. My informants tell me that the palace is located in Dragonis, your capital world. You see how everything has aligned so wonderfully? And of course, I will repay you in kind. Yeah. Except we're not going there yet. How do I benefit from your gaining official status? It sounds simple enough. Never allow your elk to say as much as they speaking of true power. Do you really think so? Take into consideration. How do I benefit from gaining official status? There we go. Besides being in receipt of my eternal gratitude, Shireen, she playfully raises a brow. Wouldn't it be beneficial to have someone in your retinue, whatever, with the weight of the authority behind them, rather than just another pawn? One slip of paper and I will be able to extend my network to systems far beyond footfall. My agents will be your eyes and ears throughout the Expanse. Sounds simple enough. Exalted One bless you, Shireen. I couldn't find a better business partner in all the expanse. Ponders for a moment and then graces you with a dazzling smile. Friendship is a gift from the Exalted One, and we must cherish it. And you will have no complaints about our friendship, Shireen. I may not be a trade representative of the Imperium just yet, but I can still help you with whatever you need. You must have some faction in mind that would like to establish relations with. The severe Drusians, the hot-headed pirates of the Caspelica. You merely need to use the right words, like a key for a lock, and people will open their hearts to you, or their wallets. I will rearrange everything if you merely ask. Huh. Well, these are the ones we're already working towards, so... Not a problem, Shireen. I will have my people put in a good word for you in the right circles. Fellowship of the Void. I will humbly wait until you steer your vessel towards Draconis. The Magnum Tabella Official. It sounds almost as majestic as the warrant of trade. Whoop. Okay. The certificate of an official trade representative of Imperium can open doors for Jay and do stuff. Okay, we don't need to do that yet. Bonesy! Come on, we're not done talking to her yet. This way. What? No.
May the Exalted One protect you. Have you grown bored without our little talk, Shireen?
He flashes you a welcoming smile, rolling a coin across the knuckles of augmented fingers. You don't look like a typical smuggler.
No truer words have ever been said. I'm far more exciting than some small-time peddlers from Footfall.
Maybe.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Jai Amira Fatqina
Jai.
Tamiri Ash Ifrit, the 12th daughter of the Lord of Ifrit, a distant world at the fringes of the Imperium.
Okay, so my Homer J. Simpson joke didn't work.
The youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip in the family's political games. But I was unwilling to accept such a fate, and wanted to choose what to become, and which path to follow. When I learned the Exalted One watches over hundreds of other worlds amidst distant stars, I understood there was an entire world of opportunities beyond Ifrit. All I had to do was break the familial bonds tying me down and escape the planet. Which I did a long time ago.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Alright, why did you choose to come to the Cronus Expanse? Plans you have pointed at close shaves for the years.
Consider it a mark of my trade. This year, Xenos. Dumb-headed orcs. Who knew that we weren't the only ones to get tempted by the wreck of that raider? As for this treasure, I received it as a reward for a life that had been just a little too good. I was in a hurry to get to the Adeptus Amasacus after the Exalted One blessed me with immense wealth. I was 2 backstreets away from the den when a pathetic ashmag attacked me, envious of somebody else's fortune.
Go on. Oh, she drags her thumb across her throat. Does she have a... Okay, I don't see anything on her throat. You can't really zoom in. Tech use test succeeded. You are familiar with implants like this one that has replaced Jay's neck. It is merely one part of a massive augmentation replacing the internal organs. A slit throat could not have been the cause of the installation of her sophisticated device. Something like rip out her throat? She used to come to the Cronus Expanse.
The Cronus Expanse. A gorgeous name, isn't it? But this backwater wasn't my original destination when I escaped, Sherry. Oh no, it was the rumors of incredible freedom that brought me to the Cronus Expanse. Freedom that is generously bestowed upon everyone who can survive in these parts. All doors are open here. You can become a saint, a mogul, a kingmaker, or anyone you like, really. Here, hard work pays off. Unless you're used to lying by the roadside and complaining instead of toiling for the good of your soul, glory, wallet, or whatever floats your boat. I'm used to working hard, and so I found my blessing.
Oops. Sorry, a bit distracted. Okay, as you expect.
I convinced my father I personally wish to oversee the inspection of imported goods. I had to get experience so I wouldn't bring shame on our family, didn't I? I made friends with traders, missionaries, and soldiers at the port. I listened to their stories, studied the charts, learned what documents I had to forge to escape the planet. A kind word here, a shiny coin there. And here I am, in the iron belly of a ship, braving the void in search of a new life.
Smugglers. Thank you for sharing.
All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too.
Is this just going to take me right back there?
The
It does.
youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip in the family's political games. But I was unwilling to accept such a fate, and wanted to choose what to become and which path to follow. All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for
So you have the
business
shiny
too.
weapon in your Cronus Expanse. Tell me about its dark side.
The dark side is the real Coronis Expanse, if you ask me. But what do you want to know about it, Shireen?
Tell me about things on footfall.
Dynasties drink with criminals. Rogue traders strike deals with the Casbalica.
Uh-huh,
And
rogue traders.
dozens of ships stop off for a welcome break from a long voyage. Is there a more beautiful place in the entire Imperium? The
Could be.
Emperor is merciful to the meek and the powerful alike. There's a job for everyone as long as they have a head on their shoulders. And if you feel like talking to him in person, the statue of the Exalted One can be seen from any asteroid. You can pray to your heart's content.
Jesus, how big is it? It's like Bender's Sphinx tomb.
An ancient
Remember
crime cartel
me.
that originated with the first settlers of the Calixis sector. It is run by shadowy clans with robber barons at the helm. Cross their path, and you risk making enemies all over the Coronis Expanse, or even the entire Imperium. As for the agents, they are just shameless, greedy scum.
How many things did I reference today?
Every third person on footfall is a Casbalican. But that doesn't mean all that rotten filth is acting together. I've been set up more than once just so some Casbalican can get one over on his rivals. And yet, the Casbalica is generous to its customers, if you can afford it. Anything can be obtained, organized, and transported for the right price. The customer is always right, unless they happen to be a rat. In
Unless
which
they're an
case,
idiot. Have you ever heard of that one?
Forgive me, Shireen. I'm not too fond of the ones I am forced to share the market with. Especially since they are nowhere near as good as me.
Are you one of Kabelska's robber barons?
What gave you such an outrageous idea?
Well, the question
Was it
thing.
my immaculate garment? My gorgeous jewelry? Do not worry, Shireen. I will let you know once I become a baroness, should the Exalted One will it. Just imagine the strong and fruitful alliance that could be forged between a rogue trader and the mastermind of the Casbalica.
Sorry, I'm like playing the theme song from Neverending Story as we're running through the galaxy, taking all the wealth. How did you become Casbalican agent?
It's not hard to do on footfall. I spent a year working for good old Christo. He was a brave soldier who gave up the ghost in a scuffle with orcs, and then took over his business. Having a good head on your shoulders and keeping the Exalted One in your heart helps to establish new contacts quickly. Eventually, I gathered together a group of honest and loyal people, and it only took a few successful contracts for the Casbalica to take notice. I quickly settled on footfall and started dispensing my wisdom to my protégés and subordinates. I lost the taste for getting my hands dirty.
Oops, too far. Call trade?
It really is simple, Shireen. The Casbalica runs the Imperium's black market, offering special goods to those who can afford their services. Yes, I am talking about Xeno artifacts too. Alien weapons, technology, sometimes even certain kinds of living creatures.
We can ask about the living creatures. Can we get like a clapper?
Unlike the rogue traders whose sacred warrants make them immune even from the laws of the Exalted One, Casbalican agents are used to hiding and covering their tracks. Nobody wants to draw unwanted attention, no matter who might take an interest. Especially now that the Coronis Expanse has a warrior of the Golden Throne as its watchman.
Fair, fair.
Why not? The decision is yours, Sherry.
I'm the one who's doing these questionings. You can ask me questions if you want, but you never do. It's your business.
My trade
Damn
means
it.
knowing the right people and non-people. Having the right connections and making sure the precious goods find their way into the hands of my no less precious customers. My wisdom includes the knowledge of the enemies of humankind, be they Xenos or the lowest scum in the Imperium, as well as the latest knowledge about how much they charge for any particular curio at the footfall market. Not even the most cunning Aji will deceive you as long as I am with you, Shireen. I promise you that. Whatever I have can be yours too, if your unfathomable wealth isn't enough for you already, I mean.
Okay, do you do business with the enemies of humanity? Humanity is capitalized.
It has been known to happen. After years of dealing with Xenos, I've learned their customs, and even got a grasp of their language. Except they cringe whenever I start speaking. Arrogant sods. They dislike even our voices, but they never turn away our valuables. Then again, I'm used to seeing sour faces. In this trade, the easily offended go out of business.
Perhaps your knowledge will serve the Von Sweet's protectorate. Consorting with the Xenos' Material Imperium. The things you do is for profit and gain, right?
Emperor be praised. You took the words right out of my mouth.
You have many talents. No, we're running out of questions. Oh, we can just go back. Okay.
Thank you, Sherry. Being able to read and write is chief among them. You may not be aware, but this science is beyond the abilities of billions of the Imperium subjects. And yet they happily keep drudging along in their factories, fundi, and assembly lines. Me? I didn't escape Ifrit to consign myself to such misery. It was literacy that paved my path to copied orders, forged signatures, counterfeited papers. The wonderful things that make the wheels of bureaucracy turn in the right direction.
Are you really that rich? Can you give me some money?
Compared to the rabble on footfall, perhaps. Compared to you, be it
Perhaps
power
not.
or money, I still have a long way to go. I could purchase one of Footfall's asteroids, but not a planet. I could subjugate a few gangs from the shady districts, but not Vladaya. And so the answer to your question is no. I do not consider myself rich. I am not rich enough.
You could be settling back on reaping the fruits of your own work. Yeah, you're gonna could be, relaxing on the beach.
You're fun to talk.
Okay, yeah.
I grew tired of scribing endless contracts and agreements neatly tucked away on Footfall. Well, I did that for how many years? But here, among the stars, you are always balanced on a knife edge. Nothing thrills me more than the tension of a warp jump, or the danger that lurks around every corner on a planet. Footfall was beginning to make me fat and stupid, Sherry. I do not want that.
Oh, you could have gone somewhere else. You need to be on Footfall. Warner's test succeeded. Jai, speaks measuredly with just the right amount of laziness in her voice, but her performance cannot conceal the slight tremble in her voice. Whatever Jai is afraid of, that is what drives her off Footfall. People getting too close to killing her? What about your gang that stayed back at Footfall? Do you trust them?
Do I trust the Trickster twins?
Probably not.
By the Exalted One, no. The underhanded rogues of Footfall came up with that name for a reason. The tricks of those frenzied ashmags are all about things far more intriguing than the honest and law-abiding subjects of the Imperium can imagine.
The mention of her fellow cold traders makes Jai's eyes shine a bit brighter than usual.
On the other hand, this is why I am keeping them close. Kor and Tora know who lifted them out of the cesspit proudly called the Shadow Quarters. And who has been feeding that ravenous beast their insatiable lust for lucre? No, they are not going to betray me if only because they know I am now a part of your entourage, Shireen. They're not going to let the biggest pie in the Imperium pass them by without trying to get a slice for themselves.
Alright. So what about these Xenos?
Vicious, cruel, dangerous beasts. Humans hold little interest for Xenos. We are entertainment for them, a means to keep boredom at bay. A commodity. But some of them contact us once in a while using their own people. Do not deceive yourself by thinking you are safe because there are no Xenos inside. Those Agi are as cunning as they are ruthless. They cleverly pull at the strings of spies and traitors, subjugate those who do not fall for the promised reward, transform the ones who resist their promises into soulless puppets. The Emperor watches over me, and that is why I still haven't succumbed to the fate of many of my associates who have lost their lives to the stringy scoundrels.
Yeah, screw them Xenos.
I think we've said all there is to say on this topic.
Best day, but I feel not all these stories are true.
Listen, Shireen, the giver of happiness and the dearest of my friends. I am who I am. A cold trader, a Casbalican agent, and your partner. We each have a past, and that past is sealed. I'm not prying into your soul, am I? Well, have pity on mine. It has already been gnawed at by the Agi. And if you don't like the sound of that, we'll just go our separate ways. Deal?
Sorry, I was just...
All relationships are based on
just,
mutual trust. That
talking.
goes for business too.
Did you know Theodore von Street's my
It is
predecessor?
difficult not to be aware of the powers that be. Especially ones like Lord Captain Theodora. But we never met personally, as the difference between our positions was far too great. Theodora was a mighty ruler, the center of her own universe, and I, a pathetic speck, was nothing next to her. But you were kind to me, Shireen, and in my eyes, that puts you above your esteemed aunt, or whoever she was to you.
Just someone to get in the way. Forgive my prying, but has the esteemed princess's heart been claimed by some lucky fellow?
Or lucky lady, you mean? My heart has been coveted by proud men with hard eyes, gentle maidens with sensual voices, imperious lords and fierce leaders of void brigands. Only rogue traders have not yet featured among Jai Hidari's intimate friends. Why do you ask, Shireen?
You know. Just curious. I'd like to know what else very like these other members of my entourage. Are you avoiding answering, Mistress Hyderil? I need to know who I must kill to rid myself of a rival. Enjoy being with you. I would like us to spend more time together. Perhaps I shall grant you the high honor of serving as my nightly delight. Who I must kill to rid myself of a rival. Yeah.
Oh, you ruthless, cruel creature. Would you really kill a person purely out of jealousy? Or 2 or 3 people? Rogue traders are a fearsome breed. My heart trembles to witness it. How fortunate then that you will not have to spill the blood of any lovesick innocent.
Whoa.
For none has any rightful claim on me. They all languish in their passion at a respectful distance, mourning and cursing their cruel fate.
Yeah, I bet.
If you are not simply amusing yourself by toying with my feelings, then why not give it a try? Go on. Or, wait. You haven't yet asked how I feel about being your romantic partner. Ask soon, Shireen.
Drop to one knee, my dazzling one. Can I trust that you hold in your heart at least the smallest drop of regard for me? Ask meekly, will you be my romantic partner? A simple woman in these flirtatious adventures. Very early days for you giving me orders. Do not push your luck. I can't imagine like this is her, you know, touching her index fingers together. Ask meekly. This is more, you know, open. I want to make a show of our relationship. This is, I want it to be just us getting to know each other away from prying eyes type deal. I'm still open to, you know, different relationships, so let's just play around with this one. Let's go ask meekly. both my fingers together. Say, hey Daryl, would you be my romantic partner? Probably asked a little more flirtatiously than
Of
that.
course I will. How could I say no?
That's not true. Oh. That rings out, sounding like a stream of precious water on Jay's world. Or Jai. I keep saying Jay. Jai. A world of desert heat and highly sophisticated courtship rituals. Inviting you to dinner over some decent wine. I'm sure we can find a fertile topic of conversation. I shall wait for you to treat me to a token of your affection, my dazzling one. No. What would you say to going to my chambers right now? I have a pool for ablutions, incidentally. Yeah, I mean, I could just invite her there anyway.
Certainly not, Shireen. That would be too fast. In the anticipation and the game lies one of passion's great delights. There is a fine art to stirring it up like boiling promethium and releasing it before it explodes. But the reward is sublime. I value your company too much, Shireen, to leave this dish untasted just so I can greedily delve into dessert. But do you value me enough to wait?
Okay, so she likes to play the long game. Kind of, you know, stringing along little romantic jabs every now and then. When you eat dinner, I shall wait for you to treat me. I value your taste of matters of romance very well. Those complicated games of passions do not sit well with me. I value your taste in matters of romance very well, yeah.
I promise you won't regret being patient, Shireen.
We'll see, because someone else could move in. We're not, you know, tied to each other, so...
But if the feelings in your soul have become a fire that is burning you up from within, then you may express them by bestowing a gift upon your humble servant.
We'll see, we'll see. You discuss what is going on between us. Okay, that's... you keep using words I don't understand, like calling me Shireen. Yeah, define
The
that.
language on Ifrit, my home world, is quite different from the one spoken in the Keronis Expanse. We bestow more than one meaning upon each word, allowing our wise men to fully express their sagacious thoughts, and us lowly dabblers, our base passions and desires.
Just say what it means.
Take Agi, for example. That is what I call every piece of scum and villain, because Agi means evil and foe and pathetic worm unworthy of consideration. Or take Ashmag. It means fool and little brother and blind man who stumbled and would fall into a pit without guidance. Shireen means friend and comrade and roommate in a battle formation, like we are.
Okay, fair enough. Just got something. No, that's a bit too soon. I'll see you later.
Oh, I have no doubt you will.
Oh, okay. Jai laughs and bids you farewell with a wink. Right, that's Pascal's bird. Okay, let's go find Janice, and then I think that will be everything. Yeah, because I feel this is kind of one that people would, you know, come to periodically if they were to ever binge my stuff. So that's why I kind of want to keep this one separate from the gameplay. You know, it's sort of like a business video if you got like a series. Lord Captain, we are once more within reach of the Von Suite's protectorate. Of utmost urgency is restoring communication with your planets and bestowing the wisdom of your decrees upon their stewards, developing colonies, claiming new territories, and establishing trade links. All this now your privilege and burden. The Carnage Expanse. The Carnage Expanse is a vast region of space where you will travel between different star systems. In each system, unique events will occur. By steering your flagship towards them, you can explore planets, study anomalies, and interact with other ships. To switch to the map of the entire Cronus, press and hold. Okay. Let's see. Ash World. Also. Okay, it's just me just opening the map. That's The hell is that? Winter Scales realm. Oh, okay. I guess that would be the Winter Scale domain then. Okay, we got some missions up there. Ooh, how's it doing on my map? Focus camera on the monkey clapper. Really? I don't have, cursor. Yeah, there we go. It would be lovely to know, which system was what. Because I want to look for Janris. I'm assuming that would be close by. The hell? Reduce route difficulty. Reduce route difficulty. What? Dudley. Our captain, the ship's senior officer, requests audience with you. They are humbly awaiting you on the bridge. They're like, what the hell are you doing? Lord Captain, we want you to come down here and get your smacks the side of the back of your head. I swear to God, if there's one of you I missed. Okay. May I request your attention for a moment? I must report a series of highly dangerous violations that have taken place in the field compartment. The Master at Arms is ignoring my demands, and I am thus forced to appeal directly to you. The Fielders have founded a sect of some kind. This group practices fire worship of the Emperor and has been burning promethium near the fuel lines. Beg you to stop the madness before we all go up in flames. Yeah, that's something that's kind of serious. I should point out that there have been no incidents in the field compartment so far, and that the beliefs of this sect do not really affect the obedience of the workers or their efficiency in any way. All assemblies are conducted strictly after hours with the permission of their superiors. However, if you find practice unacceptable, we'll put a stop to them immediately. Yeah, you couldn't even stop a freaking uprising in with the lower caste people, right? The hell do you know what's going on this ship? Promethium is the recognize the cult is considered heretical. I know just how to handle this cult. Promethium. Promethium accumulated, and the drainage tanks was so laughably small that it was not even worth recording. If there are any real misappropriation of the ship's resources happening here, well, I've already punished those involved. Our captain carries a little faint of regret. Yeah, they're still burning it. You think they're going to stop with just like little bits? When they don't receive any messages, they're going to assume that they need to burn more. Do you not know how cults work? They don't just fail a couple of times and go, oh, that's it, we're done. This is a matter beyond my purview. Let Confessor Albrecht be the judge of such bluntness. Confessor oh, that's not Albrecht. Or as he choked, the old man steps forward, his voice deep and sonorous. The Emperor protects your ladyship. I'll show you that there is no heresy festering in the field compartment. The sect of the fire prophecies have been tested for purity and found to be in accordance with the creed. Their leader, who calls himself the Oracle of Fire, is devout and submissive to his servants. They do not twist the sacred teachings, and as for their chosen forms of worship, these are neither rare nor remarkable. Many such minor cults exist in the Imperium with the full approval of the auxiliary. Fire really make prophecies. At least he and his flock believe that the Emperor reveals glimpses of the possible future to him in the sacred flame. Occasionally, his visions do come true, or so his followers convince themselves. We do not know whether the grace of the God Emperor truly lies upon him, or if he is merely a charlatan, or perhaps a blissful lunatic, or... Zachary Weiss. God damn it, there is somebody I've missed. A wicked rogue who possesses psycho power, not tempered by his will. A croaking voice interrupts the confessor's words. Lord Captain, as choir master's astropathic choir, I must be watchful of the threats of the ship's safety originating from the Immaterium. I have heard rumors about this oracle, and so I have sent my adepts to see him. They assert the man is a psyker. A man who speaks with the warp is a danger to himself and to the entire vessel. Both law and common sense dictate that he should be thrown into a holding cell, tranquilized, and handed over to the Inquisition to be sent to the Holy Terror. Alternatively, you may also dispose of him in some other way. Stand ready to carry out the order. Since Confessor Albert and Mistress Sauerback have both attested to these people are obedient and free of fault, upon their teaching, oracle visions have proved useful to us. We will not let the law stand in our way to keep an eye on him. First Master says they are a danger to the ship, then I am convinced. Oracles for the prophets. Keep an eye on him? Yeah, keep an eye on him. Dangerous decision, but I will obey, Lord Captain. I do my utmost to ensure that this cursed soul does not cause a manifestation of the warp. Emperor, save us. And if you die in the process, then I don't feel so bad about not finding you on the ship. That's another problem taken care of. Wait, why don't I... no, I don't want to do this. I want to... Get back out there. Okay. It's an uncharted system, yeah. So I don't even... You would think that I would know where my own worlds are. Like, did we just lose the... Are we... Is all bread pretty much like Captain Brannigan? You know, like, these places aren't actually uncharted. He just lost the charts. I'm going to assume that that's the case. What the hell? What's that up there? I want to go to the person that's just standing. What is that? Oh, that's my ship. Okay. Okay, that's why. Let's see what the hell this is. XP, Adamantine, the Hermitage. Super extraction reports to produce Adamantine. Yeah, sure. A small human dwelling stands on the barren, deserted planet. Scouts report that an old hermit lives there, who spent his days in prayer to the Emperor. To the Lord Captain's surprise, the old hermit turned out to be a navigator, and when the old man discovered the noble status of the visitor, he willingly recounted his tale. He had retreated to this planet long ago, back when he was still in his youth, after he had realized that his mind would not withstand frequent forays into the immaterium. The realm of arch-enemy, the Hermit spoke with pride about how he had worshipped the Emperor, each with every moment of his life. But when he mentioned the golden light of Astromiskin, his voice quivered. When his guests left, he stared after them for a long time, his gaze filled with sadness. Ah. Void ship. Okay, so he's officially part of the party now, but screw him. We'll wait for the void ship. It's beautiful. Oh, okay. Nothing there. How do I... No. Discover trophies. Gas giant. You have to circle around. Give me everything. Do you want to set up an extraction? Yeah. No, I'm going to stick to my original plan. We won't do any combat here. Because, yeah. Like I said, I just want this to be dialogue heavy. Actually, if I go to the church... quarters, freight line, white ship shrine. Is it the shrine? I guess we'll look for him. Otherwise, it's just going to bother me.
Of a world, I am the rogue thread.
There you go, it's better. Don't see him here. So he isn't here then. Okay, to the chapel then. Although I'm pretty certain I talked to everybody here. Let's just go back. There it is. Yeah, we already talked to him. Okay. We could just say remind me who you are, but We already kind of know who he is. Okay. Captain's quarters then. Do do do, I do do do, I do be do be do, I do be do. We all live on the monkey clapper, the monkey clapper, the monkey clapper. Aww. Night night. Get partially naked. The soothing water caresses your senses and your grateful muscles welcome the chance for a rest. Pleasant, I guess same thing as always. No, we're done talking to people. Let your retreats as you bring yourself to complete stillness, joint by joint, muscle by muscle, pore by pore. Before long, you have surrendered the bastion of your body to the bliss of oblivion. Troubles, worries, woes, loss, those things do not belong in this newly established dominion. Tranquility, they're only the influence. Okay, this is same thing as always. It's just kind of standard and basic. You're not really reflecting on anything because nothing's really happened. They were all ghosts. This ship is haunted. Well, I mean, it is by Theodora. Is she gonna be like a random encounter? You know, I mean, like, you know, and that we're just randomly see her and stuff? Maybe. Maybe. I have not saved once this entire episode outside of autosaves. So doing a quick save still, you know, makes me feel good. And we've got the autosaves, but let's do another save just because. Actually, where's I only have the two? Huh, okay. Okay, anyways, that's going to be it. A bit of an early end, but them's the breaks. Like I said, I just wanted to talk with everybody. Now that we have, we can continue on and then just basically check in with people as we progress. And, yeah, I think what we'll do next week is do a little more sleuthing around. Well, I mean, it's really all we can do is sleuth around the expanse and see how far Janris is, because that's what I'm still looking for, because I want to get the food situation done. But yeah, I wonder, does it actually say it in my journal? From the world, Janris. I'm not seeing anything. No. Okay. So basically, yeah, Albrecht just lost the charts. So, good job. Good job, Albrecht. Yeah. Like I said, we will continue this next week. And, yeah, I'm going to see if I can do up a fun little list. And post it up in my posts and stuff. Yeah, I'll do that with my extra time. Anyways, that's all. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all next time while Elenia here plays her flute. Bye, everybody.